So please welcome Laura D. Piazza to the show. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you for having me. Hi, Ashley. It is so good to be here. I'm very excited.
Yes, me too. And all the way from Colorado.
That's right. I'm a
And
mountain girl.
we were just talking before we hit record about how people are drawn to the mountains and I'm drawn to the water and
Mhm.
how the weather this year is so weird and
Weird. Yeah,
and
we
well,
have had no snow this year. 2025, 26. I mean, it's just been bizarre, but
right. I know. Anyway, I love to share people who have I've had a session with, first of
mhm.
all. That is so powerful for me when I get on an interview where I feel like we have this relationship. I know your magic. You've already uncovered it for me, and you've helped me uncover my magic. And I just like I said to you the other day when we were having our session, it's for me these days, 6 years into a podcast, I'm very, it's when I say to you, I remember you.
Oh,
And I know we
mhm,
had that connection in when you're channeling for me, that
mhm.
we do have that connection. So that very much solidified my feeling and why I was drawn to you. And then Christine from my last episode,
Coming out cosmic.
Coming Out Cosmic,
Mhm.
is the one I met, how I met you, because
Yes.
you're her mentor.
Yes.
And, it's just, I love looking at life these days on the web, like connecting and not really even staying in the web because I watched the people like, oh, that person doesn't resonate with me
Oh,
anymore. And
right.
you know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like it's so
Exactly.
cool to like maneuver yourself
Mhm.
and feel like, oh, that's calling me right now. Or even in
Mhm.
my podcast journey, the last 6 years, the thing people I was interviewing in the teens, it's not even, it wouldn't even come into my
Oh, right.
algorithm or, be in
Interesting.
my, yeah. So it's so fun to see really our soul or when I can't wait for people to understand when you talk about sparks, but when you see our soul's growth and really why
Mhm.
we come here and when people are intentional about it
Mhm.
because I'm drawn obviously to people that are intentional about it because I love to learn and I seek and I always am wanting to grow and then then you realize like then your tribe starts to form and you have
Mhm.
children, I have children, yours are a little
Mhm.
bit older than mine, but then you watch them and them growing and seeing how they what they do and how they attract their tribe and
Mhm.
anyway, love, love,
Yes.
love. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
let's before we get into what I want everyone to hear is your channeling, let's talk about, and I don't know any of this,
Okay.
how Laura started this journey because when I see you in Colorado, living in the mountains, and I'm thinking, how in the heck did this woman start channeling the Council of 12?
Right. Right. So, uh, I will tell you that I am 60 years old. And so this was I might what you call a late bloomer when it comes to channeling. There's people out there. Lee Harris, of course, one of my absolute favorites. Started when he was what I don't know in his
In
20s
his
or
20s.
yeah. I did not start even this journey until in my 40s, and I did not even find out that I could channel the council until I was 52,
Oh,
53,
wow.
something like
Oh,
that. So I would consider myself a late bloomer in that respect. But I am a lifelong medium. Uh, from my whole life, I've been able to um, detect energies and spirits on the other side of the veil. My earliest memory was five, maybe not five, but at least 6 years old, maybe 7 years old. Uh, um, and I had a what I would call what I would call an evil entity. Now, I don't still to this day, all these many years later, I don't know who it was. I'm still I have not had been able to find anyone who can tell me who it was. So it could have been, say, a reptilian draconian type alien visitation. It could have been a demon type visitation. Although I don't really believe in demons, I just believe in the energy of them. But uh, so I had that entity was always the same one, visited me, not every night, but probably once a month,
Oh, wow.
growing up. And I can remember as early as 6 or 7 years old, and it would
Would you
scare.
see it?
No, so my channeling, is all telepathic. I don't ever see anything. I used to be clairaudient. I am no longer. That went away. I don't know for some reason, but I think maybe because my telepathy got stronger, so I didn't need the clairaudience as much. But yeah, it's all telepathic, and so this thing visited me, like I said, through my whole life until literally until I was in my early 40s, and I
And
would.
what would that be? Like, explain that when it would
So
visit you.
what it would do is it would never approach me. It never approached me, but it would come to the bedroom door. I'd wake up in the middle of the night, and yes, I was awake, absolutely awake. This was not a dream, and I would feel it, and it felt mean. Of course, when you're 6 years old, you just it's like it just felt mean. And then when it realized I was awake, and I was scared because I literally was petrified, and it would laugh. It would just start
Oh, wow.
laughing at me, and because I was scared, and I didn't ever understand it, but I would lay in bed, and I would hold my breath because I was so scared, and I would pretend like I was asleep, hoping that it would go away. Now, the weird thing about this, it only lasted a few minutes. Whenever it
Hmm.
would visit, it only lasted a few minutes, just long enough to scare the bejesus out of me. And even the next morning, it felt like a dream. I knew
Huh.
that it had happened, but it didn't affect my daily life. It wasn't like I dwelled on it the next day or anything like that. Um,
But you told your parents.
no, oh gosh, no. Mm-mm,
Oh,
no.
no. Why?
I don't know. I don't know. It just didn't. I
Huh.
guess I felt like it was normal. I guess from
Interesting.
since it happened to me from so young that I just handled it. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know why I never told them.
Huh.
Mm-mm, no. And in
I'm
fact,
watching Stranger Things right now. So you're
oh, I love that show.
so Presley and I have like gone through the every episode. We're on the fifth season. We
Season.
did it. Yeah. And when you say that, so I'm like, okay, I'm like gripping. Like
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see
Yeah.
it through the door.
Yeah. And
Oh gosh.
so the funny thing is that when I do think about what it looked like, because at that time I could only really just feel the energy coming from it. But what was funny when I did start trying to imagine what it looked like, like, okay, so what do you look like? And do you know what the commercial with what is it? It's the little green blob man that's
Yes.
the for your nose, that's
Yes.
kind of what it looked like, but really mean.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what it
Huh.
is. Don't know what it was. It no longer visits me. It was a crazy story, but it no longer visits me. It got taken off my case. In other words, it was not doing its job because my gifts were becoming stronger throughout my life instead of getting weaker. And
Right.
so, round about in my 40s, it got taken off my case, and I've never felt it again.
Huh. But
So,
that lasted a long time.
yeah, yeah. And
Wow.
I recognized it every time. It was the same one. It was the same entity.
Huh.
Yeah.
So
So
you
I
don't believe in demons. You don't believe in the darkness.
not in the way Christians describe them, if that
Right.
makes any sense. It's yes, absolutely. There's evil. Absolutely, there's evil energies. Absolutely, there are. what you might call the energetic vampires.
Hmm.
So I view I, and you we'll kind of get to this hopefully during this conversation, but I view things from an energetic standpoint, not a personification, if that makes sense. So
No, explain that.
okay, so whenever whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter. Whenever a entity comes to me, I sometimes I want to see what they look like. In fact, I would say most of the time I want to see what they look like. Uh, but but for the but once I get that, then I ignore the 3D image that I get and I feel into the energy. And so it doesn't matter whether I get a 3D image or not. It's I feel into the energy. So that's kind of what I mean by that.
But so when you're feeling into the energy and it is a dark energy versus a light love be energy, are you like wondering why it's there? Are you is have you attracted it with your energy? Like how does that work?
I would say that yes, that can happen. That has probably happened throughout my life. But I think more so what happens for me, the in particular the um, negative energies, they are they're mainly just trying to mess with somebody who is the light. Now, I'm not bragging. I mean, we've got millions of people all over the world who are the light, and they get messed with. I mean, Christine is an example of that from Coming Out Cosmic. So, but I think that it's not so much that it's because I have done anything or I have some sort of underlying something. I think it's just they try to insert themselves and they don't last very long because they just can't hang in somebody who has a stronger light.
Right.
These darker, they can go there with their sunglasses on, but they can't hang very long because they start getting sunburned, right?
Right.
So yeah, so I think that's probably the main thing, especially since it started for me for at so young because I was raised Christian, but uh, I mean, I didn't know about. I was raised in the United Methodist Church, and they don't teach. I mean, they do teach it. They believe in demons and that kind of thing, but it's you don't learn that stuff in Sunday school at that young age. They don't. The United Methodist Church doesn't teach that.
Right.
They teach love and God and angels and Jesus, and so there was no reason that I can even imagine why I would have attracted a an evil entity.
Huh.
I had a good
Interesting.
family life, um, you know. Uh, so now, I mean, I'm human. I've got my issues. I always say I go to AA. Hi, my name's Laura, and I have anger issues. It's just one of those. I mean, I'm human. I've got my issues, but I think that's probably why I get visited. And I'll be honest with you, I would say since I was in my 30s, I just talk to them. And if I don't like them, I tell them to go away. I don't mess around anymore. If they want to talk and have a civil discussion, I will more than be happy to have a civil discussion with an evil entity. But no, if I don't want them around, they they are told to leave. I tell them to leave, and they do.
Do you have to use like a protection thing?
No,
Do you? Okay.
no, I don't practice that. I've always felt protected. I, uh, I don't, it's not that I don't believe in giving yourself protection, but what I've learned from the council and I hope I don't make anyone mad, but from what I've learned from the council is that uh, with the law of attraction and energy attracts like energy, if you if a person feels like they need to put up a protection, then they are exuding the energy that they need protection, so they are going to attract what they need to be protected from.
Yes, I get that.
So the council doesn't teach um, because you're already protected.
Right.
You're already protected. The fear of not being protected is what causes you needing to feel like you're protected. You're already
Right.
protected.
Right.
Everyone is. Everyone,
Yes.
without exception. So yeah.
Yes, I love
Hmm.
that because I feel that I see that way too. Okay, so let's move forward now to when you're in your 50, 52,
Okay, yeah.
53. When you start to experience
Hmm.
how did you start uncovering more of your magic?
Okay. So I would say since I've been kind of attached to the other side of the veil already my whole life, I really came to a what I call a second awakening because since I grew up Christian and then when I was older and had kids in my 30s, I wanted my kids to have a Christian upbringing. And so I began going to a Assemblies of God denomination church, which I absolutely loved. I went there for 10 years. But they were that denomination is very dogmatic with their
Mhm.
beliefs, not what I grew up with in the United Methodist Church. And so the first thing that happened was I decided I wanted to be a massage therapist. And that's kind of when things kind of started. This was in my 30s, I think, 40s. I don't know. All the years run together.
I know,
Okay.
right?
Um, and so I went to massage school. You know, it's 6 months, and you go to class, and then you practice massaging on people. Well, during that 6 months, I started feeling energy with my hands, and I would be massaging people, and I was like, wait a minute, does anybody else feel this? And there was a couple other people in the class who could feel it. My instructor said that yes, some people do feel that, but I was just like, wow, this is crazy. And at the same time, I started picking up on people's emotions.
Hmm.
And they would be on my table, and I just knew things that I shouldn't know. I mean, I shouldn't know. And so that's kind of when I started realizing that, oh, maybe there's, something going on with me. So then there was 2 weeks after I was a massage therapist, I had my own practice, all that. There was 2 weeks where I had 3 or 4 clients who would come in and they would be crying. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We don't have to do this today. If you don't want to,
Right.
we don't have to. And they were like, no, no, I need it. And this was an older lady. My husband died. And I'm like, oh, I am so sorry. Blah, that whole conversation. How long ago? 5 years. And I was like,
Oh,
wow,
wow.
she's really upset for it being 5 years ago. That's kind of went through my head. She's on my table, sure shooting. The husband shows up and an angel show up. And I at this point I was deep into the dogmatic uh, version of the Bible. Let's put it that
Okay.
way. Interpretation of some biblical scripture. And so, of course, I thought that everything was the devil, because that's what they teach. And so I said, are I practiced what I was taught. You ask the entity if they're in service to Jesus and, all that stuff. And they said they were. And so I said, okay. And the angel said, we need you to give a message to the woman. And I was like, oh, no, hell no. Oh, no, ain't gonna
Oh,
happen.
funny.
Nope, nope. Um, and so the angel was like, it's okay. She needs to hear this. The husband cares about her, loves her, wants her to know this message. Like, okay. I was not, I mean, I was not wanting to cooperate. Anyway, after she got off the table, I told her, I said, I gave her the message, and I was scared to death because I was like, what in the world? And she just started crying again, and I was like, what have I done? And
Right.
she was just, thank you, thank you, thank you. I needed to hear this. Blah, blah. Oh my gosh. I had 4 people in 2 weeks. Exact same scenario. They would walk into my office just crying,
Huh.
and I would get a message for them. And so then I was like, so at that point, then I'm like, what is happening? Because this is really ramping up. I mean, I'm used to detecting things, but I'm not used to hearing messages
Right.
and giving them. Anyway, so after a few, I don't know, several months, whatever, this was probably in 2013-ish, somewhere around in there. I told my pastor that I could talk to the dead. That was not
Oh,
good.
I bet.
They told me I was dealing with the devil. This pastor ended up, well, I'm not even going to go into that story, but that pastor literally told me that they felt sorry for my children and felt sorry for my husband.
Oh, wow.
And then I was completely shunned. Whenever I would go to church, I would be talking to a friend of mine, just, about the weather, I mean, whatever. And I could see out of my corner of my eye, a deacon would make a beeline for our conversation and interrupt it and pretend to be like, I just want to thank you guys so much for helping out with the
Oh,
coffee. Or,
wow.
I mean, it was obvious they didn't want me there anymore.
Right.
Obvious. Completely shunned. And that started my dark night of the soul because my whole life was wrapped up in that church. I mean, that's where my friends were. I was there 3 and 4 days a week.
Oh, wow.
I answered phones, volunteered, did this, did that. Um, but also at the same time, I had studied the Bible deeply and was getting my own messages, was getting my own interpretations
Huh.
of the Bible. So it was good. It was a good thing. But that was the beginning of my dark night of the soul, about 2013 or so. And then I started reading everything I could get. Anybody heard of Dolores Cannon? Oh my
Yep.
gosh. Yeah.
Everybody listening
Oh my
has, yeah.
gosh. Yeah. I read my first book of hers, and that was it, man. I could not get enough, right?
Yep. Me too.
And so then I decided I needed my own QHHT session, and this was after years. Um, I had found channelers and was very intrigued, all the old channelers, and listened to them, and I did lots and lots of study on things like near-death experiences and people, that kind of thing. And I decided that in 2019, I decided I needed my own QHHT session. And so I found Holly Duckworth. I'll plug her real quick. PhD. It's Durango, awarecaredurango.com. But she actually studied under Dolores Cannon,
Oh,
literally
wow.
from Dolores Cannon. She's a level 3. Anyway, I found her back in 2019, and during my QHHT session, we met the council.
Ah,
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah. So that was kind of a long story to get to that point. But yeah, we met the council, and I had already read J.J. Hertock's book, the uh, what was the name of that book?
The book of the Enoch?
Yes, the book. Yes, the Book of Enoch. Thank you. And so I was familiar that there were councils, that there were, that type of thing, and then when we found out it was the Council of 12, I went home. I went back to my hotel room that night, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? I mean, who am I? I have anger issues. I mean, who,
Right.
I'm a nobody." And and so anyway, that was in 2019, and it took me
Okay,
about
wait, hold on a
mhm,
second.
mhm,
So, Book of Enoch, you had read that before your QHHT session. So, you,
mhm,
in your hypnosis, the Council of 12 came through and you recognized them? How did that?
mhm,
Okay,
mhm. Yeah,
explain
so
how that.
so during my session, um, immediately, so normally what happens during a QHHT session is the higher self will take the person to a past life, something that means something. Maybe they can, that maybe explains something in their that's going on in their life now. That is not what happened. I had my spirit guide came and got me, who I named Jordan. He came. He's like a brother to me. He came and got me, and we zipped right off to the a bubble, a clear bubble out in space. I mean, we were passing planets, we were passing, stars everywhere, and we came to this bubble, and I could see they had. It was like it was like a conference room with a table, and we kind of slid through the glass or slid through the bubble, and landed, and I I recognized everybody. In other words,
Oh,
during my QOT, I could feel their energy, and I could see 3D images, but they were blurry. But I could feel the energy, and I was like, "Oh, I already know all these people."
oh, wow.
And and in my session, you can hear me say, "And they know me. I know them, and they know me." And
And
they
that's the Council of 12.
that's the Council of 12. And so yeah, so that's how we actually met them, and I found out that my higher self, who I call La Ra, is actually a member of the Council of 12. Yeah.
Right. And explain, because I've had a session with you,
Yes.
so that I'm coming from that perspective, everyone. So when you channeled for me, you would get a message from Ra, from La Ra, your higher self, and then is it Jude, Jude,
It's kind of an
Jude,
SHZUD. That's a kind of a Jud. Mm-hmm.
Jude? Will you
Mm-hmm.
explain all those different ones? Because when we get to channeling, that might come through, and I want people
Yes.
to understand
Yes.
where they all come in.
Yeah. So La Ra is my higher self. Laura, Laura, I am not on the council. I am just the tool that my higher self uses.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Laura is not on the council, but
Hmm.
La Ra is. And so I'm just the tool, but there's Ra, who is the one that normally comes through. They're kind of the what you call the public spokesperson for the council.
Right.
And I would say that their energy, Ra's energy, is closest to mine, and so it's the easiest to integrate. It feels the most comfortable for me, Laura, when I'm channeling. Um, but then there is Jude, who and you have to understand, I'm not I pick out these names just because it feels like what it should be. It's not because I'm given like Ra. Well, Ra's been used through history.
Right.
I mean, so when for they I've been told, the council has said, don't put any historical meaning to these names. This is just because this is what it feels like to me when they come through.
Right.
Um, so Jude is what you might call the president of the council. He is the oldest one on the council, way old. In fact, he's
When you
one
say way old, meaning he's had so many lives, like how do you frame old?
experience.
Experience.
Experience. So, in
Okay.
other words, God or source, I call source, would be the most experience possible.
Right.
Um, and a human would be little bitty experience, right?
Right.
Compared to source. So then you have different, it all in between there. So Jud was sparked, what I call born. That's what I call born. His soul was born shortly after Source decided to make some of these universes, and these universes were just kind of balls of blob, balls of light. They weren't really formed yet, but God wanted help to, give sparks, souls, the possibility of getting experience and things like that. So Jud was one of the first sparks.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. Um, then there's others that you haven't met, Ashley. There's Ula, who is from a water planet, and her alien race takes care of our um, the fish and the ocean life.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of one of their main. Plus, they also take care of water on planets, not just Earth. We're talking a couple, two or three, four or five universes, okay, where these energies work. But they work with water. So then there's a couple others. One works with a lot of sound. Another one works with a lot of light. The Christ consciousness is not on the council, but the council works very closely with the Christ consciousness because the council is in charge of the council is in charge of creating and managing sources creations in densities 1 through 5 and a little bit of 6. So the lower densities.
And
And
that's what you read me in the Book of the Enoch.
Book of Enoch. That is
Book
the.
of Enoch.
Mm-hmm. And so the, there's just a lot. So and Metatron. And this might be different than what other people, but my definition for Metatron is the science, where Christ consciousness is the love. Metatron for me is the science. So Metatron is not on the council either, but they all work closely together to help manage all of these creations.
So when we had our session, the what I got from Christine when I had that interview was that you help people find their galactic origin.
Hmm.
So
Yes.
that was what, and then that drew me to what she was explaining to me in the interview about you. And then when we had our session, that part I really want you to explain to people because my galactic origin was not from an alien like a reptilian or a what Arcturians, all the alien races. I was from light, from a light, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah. So how this works is Coming Out Cosmic and Laura D. Channels have teamed up to give people their galactic origin, where their soul was born, and you also get a beautiful crystal bracelet to help you connect to either your alien race or where that place where you were born. And so, and I did have, since we had our session, I have had somebody get a private session with the council since then, this weekend, and they wanted to know their galactic origin. And there are 88 constellations in the sky. Laura does not have all of them memorized. And so when somebody comes to Laura or comes to the Laura D channels in a private session, they are not going to get an answer like they will get with the cosmic cosmic conversation, galactic origin experience. The reason for that is because I am not going to memorize, Laura, I am not going to memorize 88 constellations. I'm just not going to do it.
Right.
Um, and so I can, the council can only work with what's in my brain.
Okay.
So in other words, and I know I'm sorry, I'm kind of going off on a squirrel trail, but I'll come back. If someone came up to the council and said, "Can you please explain quantum mechanics?" They'd be like, "Well, we'd love to, but no." Because Lord, I don't have that information. I don't know how to, I don't
Right.
have that information in my brain, so they can't. Now, they could explain it energetically because I can get impressions, I can get visions, and I can explain it that way. But I can't give you the vocabulary, all that. So the same thing with the constellations. There's 88 constellations. I do not have them memorized. I'm not going to memorize them. And so with the galactic origin experience, then it's if you want specific, then you want to go that direction because what I do is I use some uh, uh, tarot cards or cards that have all 88 constellations on them. I put the stack in front of me and I let the higher self pick the card by through the stacks, and I let them pick the card out through that way. So so it is a different. It is different. If someone goes to private session to Laura D channels, yes, you're going to get an answer. But if you want specific, then you would need to go through Galactic Origin Experience because then I have tools to work
Got
with.
it.
Does that make
Got it.
sense?
Yes. So I could still have a galactic
Origin
origin,
Experience, absolutely. And you
and
will get
it would be a one of the 88.
correct. Correct.
There's every human on this planet comes from one of the 88.
That is correct. And the reason that is because the constellations, when a lot of people think constellation, oh, they think of the Big Dipper, the
Right.
actual figure, but really constellation means, and this has been this way since the 1920s, constellation means the area of sky, and that constellation just happens to be kind of somewhere in it. And every section of our sky, from the human point of view, from the Earth point of view, um, has been mapped, and every section butts up against all the borders of the sections, butt up against them, each one, and they call them constellations.
So when we had our conversation and channeled with La Ra
Hmm.
and Ra,
Hmm.
and they said that I came from light and I had had 100 lives in the last 200 years.
Okay.
I'm going back in my memory. Um, and I was asked you a question about my daughters, and
Oh,
I asked if they came from a somewhere, and you said they came from light too, and that we chose to come at these specific times in the universe when everything's happening at once to be the light to bring people to the next, like when we're moving to the new earth or the 5D or whatever people, all
hmm.
lingo that's out there. But
Yep,
so
yep.
will you explain how that, like when so I want people to understand before we start channeling more about how the Council of 12 and what you're seeing and what you're bringing out to explain to people their spark and their, I don't know if it's purpose or
Hmm.
what that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, uh, the council does not work in a bubble. So you have psychics in the world that, and I have a few of my favorite ones, of course, but Caputo, what's her name?
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
okay, she's one of my favorites. But the council, you would think that, well, the council knows everything, right? All knowing, Right, and that is not how that works. The reason is because um, the way information you have to ask for information to receive it, um, and so they have access to all information, but the question has to be asked for them to bring that information in. So I try to tell people the council doesn't work in a bubble. You can't just have a conversation with the council and say, well, something really bad happened today. What do I do about it? Well, the council, they're not going to tell you anything. They're not going to be able to tell you anything because they don't work in a bubble. They want to know what happened, just that kind of thing. So they do ask for detail. Um, so what I get is during the conversation, what I get visions, I get impressions, energetic impressions. Um, I get information about emotion. Uh, so it's literally, you've heard the term, a picture is worth a thousand words.
Right.
So literally, that is what I'm getting. I'm getting um, feelings of like I said, emotion, or I get a picture, and in the way I clarify things is I say, let's say they send me a picture of two different balls, one red one and one blue one, and the impression I get is that both of those balls are important, but one is more important. So then I ask the question back, and I say, and this is all in my head, right? This is all telepathic, and it is split second. I mean, we're talking tenths of a second. Uh, okay, so is red or blue? I'll give them the choice red, and I get a feeling, and then I give them the choice blue, I get a feeling, and whichever one is stronger, then I know that's the more important one. That's kind of how that works. But literally, I am trying to describe a picture of how to help someone uh, in 3 minutes, and it's so much that I really try to rely on them. They give me the big picture, they give me impressions on, as I'm speaking, what is the important thing to say. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but
Yeah, no, that helps too.
and
But
I do get visions as well. I'll get a picture, like since I know what a blue avian looks like, since I know what a draconian looks like, since I know just some of the things I do know, they will give me a picture if I already know in my head.
right. When you are in that process of channeling them, will you explain, like, where are you going? Are you like I've interviewed many people, channels, are you moving aside so they can come forward? Are you in the back seat of the car? Like, how does that?
I am in the back seat of the car,
Okay.
and I try to push my ego, myself, out of the way as far as I can, and then let I'm the one. So a lot of people talk about, or they may be a full body channel where the entity comes in and actually moves their mouth for
Right.
them, or that kind of thing. I am still there. I'm the one moving my mouth. I am the one having conversation with them, and trying to help clarify things. But I push my ego as far out of the way as I possibly can. And it takes a lot of practice. Because, I mean, with all the stuff going on in the world, I mean, we all get judgmental of things that are going on. And so you really just have to push that out of the way. But yeah, I'm sitting in the back seat.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the biggest lesson you've learned in the last, what, 8 years since you've,
For me,
yes.
my lesson
Hmm.
to believe in myself. Um, I have always asked others. I mean, this is since I was little. What do should I do this or that? What do you think?
Okay.
And would ignore, I don't know that I would ignore it completely, but, I would sometimes do what they thought I should do instead of what felt
Right.
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 So that's probably the biggest lesson that I have learned is to trust what I need to
Your
put,
intuition, like listening
hmm
to,
yep,
believing in that voice.
and putting
Yes.
myself first, which sounds selfish, but I believe in that, putting
Right.
uh, yourself first. Yeah.
Did the way I keep prolonging the questions because I can't wait to I want to channel, but when you I know you have two children older
hmm
than mine, but
hmm
like parenting them before you started channeling versus now, is there a difference in what you how you talk to them and what you teach them in as a mom?
Um, Not really. I do teach them lessons as I learn them from the council. I will say, "Hey, guess what I learned today?" That kind of
Okay.
thing. I do have one of my children is very involved with Laura D. Channels. In fact, she's my admin.
Knows how to do the technical things that we
Right,
don't.
right. 'Cause I'm so bad. I can't even do social media. Oh, but yeah, but and my other child loves me and it knows everything, no secrets or anything like that. But just kind of not there, not
Right.
interested.
Right.
But now I forgot what the question was.
Oh, I just like as a mom, because I
Oh yeah,
think
as a mom.
too.
Yeah, so no, I tried to teach them that even when we were going to church, I tried to teach them that there's other religions, for one. I even got them a book, so they could read about other religions. Um, and then, but I will say, once that ended, I did start not, I did start teaching them that probably spirituality, your independent intuition and your spirituality is more important than the dogma of a certain religion. So I definitely started teaching them that. Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
I mean, and
I,
I'm like other, and I know there's millions of people out there. They feel more closer to God, closer to source in nature than they do in a church service.
right.
And I'm the same way. So
Me too.
yeah. So I think that that's what I changed.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, for me too, and it's cute because Presley, the youngest one, likes to go to church.
Oh yeah.
And I am all about it. And they were raised in the same, the very Christian school, and it was to learn the Bible. And Richard and I grew up with he was Catholic. I wasn't raised that way, so we came to this agreement. Let's just have them go to this school where they could learn about the Bible
Right.
and they can make their own decisions. But when Presley is like, "Mom, would you ever go with me?" I said, "Of course I would." But it's funny because I don't, that's not where I go to church. I go to church
Right.
in my meditations, in my walks every morning. I'm there all the
It's
time.
constant. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Agreed. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
constant. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I
and
love
and I
that.
tell you what, I have a lot of people when they're recovering from Christianity or recovering from religion, it's all that sucks or that's no good or whatever. And I honestly, truly do not feel that way. I truly believe that religion can be an awesome stepping stone for those who need it.
Yes.
Absolutely. I fully believe in that religion is something that moves people from one frequency to another.
Yeah, I agree
Yeah.
for sure. All right, let's start. Let's bring the Council of 12
All
in.
right. All
Do a
right.
few minutes of that.
Yeah.
Am I good? Are we good on time? I mean, we're almost like we have 10 minutes of an hour, but if we went over, are you okay with?
I'm good. I'm good. I tell you
Okay.
what, let's for the as for the channeling, let's go about why don't you time me at about 30 minutes? I can do longer. I've gone, hour and a half, right, hour 15, but like for this, let's try to do just maybe 30 minutes.
Oh yeah,
Unless of course you run
maybe
you
no, we won't even go that long.
that long. Okay, yeah.
No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
'cause yeah.
So, if you'll give me just a second, let me wet my. So it does take me just a minute to kind of switch my energy around, and uh, Ra will introduce them. When they're here, they'll introduce them. And once again, just like before, all you have to do is just say, "Okay, thank you so much. We're done. You can bring Laura back, and I'll come back." Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Ah, okay. Jud's gonna come in this time. Did you meet him last time, Ashley?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
So for your listeners, what happens during this time, and I promise I will stop talking and let the council come in, but what happens during this time is Jordan, my spirit guide, comes to me and bolsters up my energy, helps me switch the energies up, and then the council will come in. Ah, greetings, Ashley. This is Ra. We are pleased to be here. We are pleased to see you again. Before we get started, Jude would like to make an appearance and speak. Jude does not stay long because the energy between Jude and Laura is wide, and therefore it wears her out very quickly. And so he does not stay long, but he does want to make an appearance so that you and your listeners can see the difference between the personalities of ourselves. So just a moment. Ah, greetings. This is Jude. We are pleased to make your acquaintance. Although we do watch, we have seen you before. We are connected to you in ways that you do not know about, Ashley. We do appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. Laura is excited to be with you. The two of you are not strangers to each other. In this lifetime, it is the first time you've met, but there are other lifetimes where you have been together. Ashley, we want you to know that we see you, we admire your tenacity, we admire what you are doing, we see your light, and we send our love. Ah, yes. Greetings. This is Ra. Jude was uh, chomping at the bit, you might say, to greet you. How can we help you today, Ashley?
I would love to hear about this Earth experiment because I
Yes.
feel the energy right now on this planet is very high, dividing. We're moving into a new, what some people call new Earth. But could
Hmm.
you explain the Earth experiment,
Hmm.
the losing our, we don't remember where we came from
Hmm.
in that area?
Hmm. Yes, yes. Uh, the Earth experiment was actually asked for by Sparks because the Sparks wanted a new playground in order to uh, do some experimenting themselves. And they wanted, there are other 3D area planets um, eh, out there, but this one in particular, they wanted a way to test themselves in an extreme manner. And so, after collaboration with Source, other councils, we hired what you would call many alien races to help with organizing the energy. We always want to ask for help from others. Of course, Source could do it all by themselves. Of course, the council, we have the talent on the council to do it by ourselves. However, that is not the purpose of life. The purpose of life is to have experience, and so you want to allow others beside yourself to experience. So, this is why we asked for help on this project, the Earth Project. The Earth Project then was given several parameters. Of course, you have your physics, the physical parameters. You have your energetic, emotional parameters, your science. All of that was thought up ahead of time and manifested with the help of many minds, you might say, that work together to manifest the ball. You might call it the Big Bang, the ball of fire that was made into Earth. And then as she cooled, it was time to determine what type of life would be allowed, although the main blueprint had been decided, but it was important to do it in steps. And so we hired more alien races with expertise in biologics and began putting life on the planet. We tweaked it every now and then, of course. There was a breach in the energetic grid of Earth, and this is where you are know the nefarious from your point of view came in and began disrupting some of the plans that had been in place. This was allowed for some time, but the imbalance became too great, and so it was stopped. Then, once humans came on, the nefarious came in after humans were introduced onto Earth. Then it was the nefarious that came in. But after the all of that had happened and the humans were becoming more and more what you might say conscious of the higher powers to at be the expanded way of viewing life. So that was an ongoing thing, and that was also tweaked. And as you know, there were calamities that did set the human race back a couple, two or three times over the history of the earth. Uh, so now, at this time, um, the the ability for the humans to expand themselves beyond what they have in the past was teetering on, once again, was teetering on collapse. And around in 2012, the consciousness reached its peak, and the human race made it over the top of the mountain and in consciousness. And now the snowball is rolling down the other side and picking up speed, if you haven't noticed.
Mm.
So we don't know if we've answered your question. Would you like to ask us more specifically?
Yes, it came to my mind. Is it similar to what has happened at Atlantis? Are we going through that again?
So yes, so Atlantis was very conscious. It's just that the mm, nefarious side of things became too imbalanced and pushed, we would say, pushed their way through uh, the. Just a moment, we're getting a picture. Uh, Pushed their way through the love barrier and used technology, which they had knowledge of, and used it for bad, used it for evil, used it for destruction. The This time period was headed that direction, but once again, you have made it past the tipping point, and the human race is on their way to 5D. Yes, 5D already exists. Earth, our Mother Earth, already exists in 5D. There are already people there. There are already teachers there. There are already light beings to who are coaches and teachers. So that space already exists. 3D Earth, contrary to what was said in the book Ra, the law of Ra, pardon us, the law of one. Since that time, there has been a change made uh, that it was saying that 3D Earth would cease to exist, and this is no longer the case. 3D Earth will continue to exist as a playground for those who have not had the chance to experience 3D Earth and all of its glory, you might say, while others who are on 3D Earth and are moving to the fifth density Earth have the ability to do so. So it is. This is a very individual expansion of consciousness. You have heard that groups of people will be taken, groups of people will disappear, groups of people will move to the fifth density, and this is the case, yes. However, the only reason that groups will move to fifth density together is because each individual has expanded to that point and has teamed up, their energies, their frequencies have attracted one another and are moved. But we want to emphasize this is very much an individual expansion on an individual basis. People can move with a group, they can move by themselves.
So I feel like when you say they're at 5D, there's already exists. It's not a separate air. It's not a separate Earth. It's all in the same vicinity, but a different dimension. Because I feel what's when I see what's going on in the world and the corruption and the division and all that. I see through that. I don't live there and I don't bring it into my world. I see I feel like sometimes I think, well, I live in the 5D. How would you explain when I say that? Where does that resonate?
So yes, the yes, you are absolutely correct. And the two spaces live what you might call on top of each other. It is very similar to our 3D space and people seeing ghosts. The ghosts are in a different density. They are in a different dimension, and so, but it bleeds through. And so the 3D, 5D is the same. Now, what we can tell you is that there, the every level, every density has a what is the word we're looking for? Is a scale, has a scale. You may have heard some people say there are octaves.
Yes.
Each, and we will go ahead and go with that. It is the simplest way to explain it. So 5D, 3D, and 5D, the 3D high octave is very close to the 5D low octave. So that is why people are able to feel like they are in 5D, especially if they are able to ignore what is happening in the 3D space. Then they can feel like they are in 5D. Absolutely. At that point, between these two octaves, the high 3D and the low 5D, you are able to go back and forth depending on what you focus on. Now, as your expansion grows and you move into the second and say third octaves, you start to ignore the 3D space even more. And then eventually, as you move through the 5D space, you move through all of the octaves, and then you come to the high octave 5D, low octave 6D. So it is most, if not, of course, you never want to say never, all, none, but we would say most souls, humans that have been in this 3D space and are alive at this time and are awakened and are learning and are growing, are moving through from the 3D 8 to the 5D 1 and back and forth, possibly even the 5D 2. Yes. But it is going, a lot of you are going back and forth right now. Yes.
Where does AI come in on
hmm
this scale and the octaves and what did we do to ignite that? Was that part of this expansion?
As far as AI, just a moment, that is a new question, so let us see if we can download some information on that. So yes, AI is available in 5D. Yes, for people to use. You must understand that 5D there is still polarity in 5D. And AI, when you move, obviously in 3D, the polarities are extremely wide, and so AI can be used in extremely polar ways. Uh, and in 5D, the polarities are not quite as wide, so AI can still be used in those ways. But keep in mind that in the 5D1 space, 5D2, 5D3 space, you still have quite a bit of 3D things. So you have computers, you have your phones, you have um, AI and that type of thing. As you move through the 5D octaves, what happens is the AI becomes more energetic, just as the human becomes more energetic.
What does the healing aspect of our 5D bodies look like, and
hmm
sound frequency and all the all the
hmm
things that were way back in time? How does that look?
hmm So in your 3D space, you may be aware that new technology is coming out. This technology has been on your planet for some time. It's just not have been available to the normal public. And you have noticed that some new technology for healing is coming out on your planet. Now, um, once again, because the 3D 8 and the 5D 1 are so close together, that technology, you might actually consider 5D 1 and 5D 2, because it is a uh, technology that is born of in love. Although there are technologies that can be used, obviously, for nefarious things, but um, we would consider, we would have you consider, if you choose, if it resonates, that the new technologies that you're seeing, um, that are more of what you will see in the, what will be more normal in the 5D 1, 2s, and 3s. Yes.
When you talk about the sparks, I was listening to um, Laura explain how the sparks come from
Mm.
source, but we could also, people can spark from a spark.
Uh, Once a spark has matured enough, then with Source's help, uh, a spark can choose to have children. Just as humans have children, a spark can choose to have children, but it is very much the same that Source must lend its life energy to that. And so it is very much like the egg and the sperm. Um, the spark cannot um, have children without the input of Source's life energy.
Do you see the children coming in now at a, or already at a higher dimension?
Be more specific on that question. What children
The souls that are being sparked, the sparks that are coming to, well,
on Earth?
on Earth,
hmm
are they have like I've higher levels
Mm,
of their DNA
mm,
ignited
mm.
than we do?
Typically, yes, yes. Typically, one of our favorite, Abraham Hicks, uh, Abraham explains that that the old ones croak so that the new ones can come in,
Mm.
and this is what is obviously been happening for millennia, and the children that are being born and have been being born. Um, just a moment. We can try to give you a year-ish. And we want your audience to understand that when we give numbers, when the council gives numbers, this is not hard and fast. This is not, oh, the council said it's 1990, so it's 1990. No, no, no. This is simply just a range. Think of it more of a range of numbers or dates. So we would say beginning in the early 90s or so is when the star seeds really started pouring in. Prior to that, it was, I mean, all humans are star seeds. In in our definition, a star seed is simply someone, a soul that was not originated on Earth. And there are no souls alive on Earth today that were originated on Earth. So everyone, for our definition of starseed, everyone is a starseed. However, what we will say is that, as you mentioned, the crystallization of the DNA, the higher consciousness that is they were born with, began happening, we would say, early 90s ish. Yes, and is continuing. And prior to that, the those who were born were more volunteers, you might say, just as Dolores Cannon described it. Absolutely.
Mhm.
The star seeds that are coming in now are coming in from many different alien races. They are born human. Some hybrid are coming in, but most are choosing to incarnate fully human, but have lived lives maybe as one particular alien race for most of the time. So you do see quite a bit of that. You do see, once again, you mentioned the DNA crystallization in these children, the consciousness and their connection to the other side of the veil is quite strong. So you have seen quite a bit of that. Um, uh, we will say that it is hard for parents these days to raise starseed when they have not experienced it themselves. Laura has always had the desire to help parents teach the parents how to raise starseeds. Yes.
Yes, that's what I have in common with Laura.
Yes.
So let's end with this.
Yes.
With when Jude
Should. Yes.
came through and said, "This is not our Laura and my first meeting. We've been in other lives." Does that mean we're part of the same soul group? And how does he see that? And am I part of his soul group? Like and how do we come in contact on this earth right now at this time after lifetimes that we've been together, like he said?
So no, we are not part of the soul group, and no, you are not part of Jud's soul group. Uh, However, soul groups can choose individuals, we should say, in soul groups, choose to incarnate with others from other soul groups. Soul groups can, and once again, we're using numbers, so simply just keep it as a range in your head. Soul groups can have thousands of individuals. Soul groups can have hundreds of individuals. Soul groups can have 10 individuals. Soul groups can have 5 individuals. As sparks mature, they move into soul groups that are have smaller numbers and begin resonating with those chosen uh, soul family. Um, and then as sparks mature even more, eventually a spark, does not need a soul family at all. They are simply able to um, just what is the word we're looking for? They are simply able to exist by themselves and be with different frequencies. Hmm.
Is our children that come through us in this um, incarnation, are they particularly in our soul group, or do they not have to be?
They don't have to be. Nope, they don't have to be. In fact, there are some very old souls, you might say, that choose to incarnate. You might consider these your gurus on your earth, that old souls, very wise souls. It could be parents as well, but the children are the ones that choose the parent, and but a soul that a parent, an old soul that wants to come back as a parent, wants to incarnate as a parent, will put out a message and say, I would like to have two or three children in my next incarnation. Are there any volunteers?
Hmm.
And the children will come and, well, we say children. The spark, the soul, will come and say yes or no, and then there's agreements made and such and such. We can tell you that there is a wonderful book, one of Laura's favorites, that is called Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. We would suggest that if anyone has more questions in regarding in soul families and that type of thing, uh, it is a wonderful explanation of soul families. Yes.
Thank you. And you can bring Laura back. But thank you so much.
It has been a pleasure, Ashley. We will see you again.
Thank you. There
Hi.
you are. That was fun. I could do that all day.
They're fun. They are fun. Yeah, they're fun. Yeah, I mean, Raw actually has a bit of a sense of humor,
Mhm.
very dry sense of humor. So it's kind of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, to see personality,
Mm,
like
yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, good, good.
Um, well, let's close up. I've taken up an hour and more of your time. Let's close up on what you're offering right now, your book,
Okay.
all the
Okay.
things that Laura wants to shout to the world.
Shout. What? Okay. So, Spiritually Awakened is on Amazon right now, and it's literally my story from that evil entity. It is. I also have some of my first realizations in it. There is channeling in it. It talks who is source. Talks about the Earth experiment, things like that. So I believe it's a fairly easy read. But anyway, that has my entire story in it. Then, so what? Laura D. Channels, lauradchannels.com. That's how you find me. Uh, I do have a membership platform. The thing that I have been doing is called Cosmic Conversation. So I've been doing a Cosmic Conversation once a month, where I channel the council and people are able to send in questions for the council to answer. It can be personal questions, it can be questions about the universe, just kind of like, even what we just did just now. I've been doing this for about 4 years, once a month for 4 years. And Sometimes we have big groups, sometimes we have small groups. You just never know. Sometimes the council is able to answer 10 questions. Sometimes they're only able to answer five, depending, because just because I can't channel forever. So the Cosmic Conversation is a member perk. I also offer private sessions. I offer what I call a quick clarity guidance, which is a channeled video. So if you, and it's just where you send in a question and then I channel the answer for you. And then I do have a 30-minute session and a 1-hour session. Private sessions that you can do. Now, when I say private, if you have, say, a husband and wife or something that both want to come on, that's fine. That's, I've done couples before. I am going to be offering, starting in March, which I'm very excited about, I'm going to be offering to the public what I'm calling light body activation. And it is a meditation type thing where the council will bring in their energy. It will be live, although we'll record it and people will be able to see the recordings as well. But it will be live, and it will be where we just kind of do a little meditation. Nothing, real formal, but you can literally sit in the council's energy, and it is mainly for DNA activation. And raising your consciousness, and there is a journal that goes along with it. I'm also planning on, if I can get it all worked out by March, it may be April before I get it all worked out, I'm going to be having stones of some sort that you can take your energy into the stone. The council will help you with that, and it becomes an integration type tool.
Oh, oh,
So there's that. Um, and you can find me on most socials. My daughter helps me with that. Now I'm doing really good on TikTok. I got to tell you that.
cool. Oh, good.
I'm kind of proud of myself on the TikTok thing. But yeah, so I'm on not TikTok. I'm sorry, on school. I have a school community. And so I've been doing very good on school, I should say. But I'm on TikTok. The other thing I'm going to be doing, speaking of TikTok, is I love talking about crazy stuff like Bigfoot, aliens, mermaids. I call it ATO. It's called All Things Otherworldly.
Oh,
And that
fun.
is going to be a live TikTok once a month. And I will have a panel of people on there, and we will literally just talk about weird stuff. We have talked about dogmen before. I mean, it's just
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah. So it's one of those things where we talk about the weird stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
the
I
fun
love
stuff.
it.
hmm
Yeah,
Yeah,
fun.
because I enjoy that a lot. So yeah,
We'll have to have another episode about that
yeah, yeah.
once we got past this. Shoot, I need to ask you that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, go to my website, lauradchannels.com, and you'll find all the information there. Ways to journey with Laura, work with Laura, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Oh, one more thing. I do want to tell you that my slogan is expanding hearts, minds, and consciousness through cosmic conversation. That has been my slogan since I found out about the council. That's what was given to me.
Oh,
And expansion for me is a better word than ascension. I mean, ascension's fine, but expansion just kind of means what I need it to mean. But cosmic conversation, yes, you can talk to the council. Uh, But cosmic conversation doesn't have to be just talking to the council. Cosmic conversation can also be you. learning how to speak with your higher self yourself. And so cosmic conversation means a lot more than just the council. Cosmic conversation can mean you as a human having frequency, the same frequency of as another human, and the two of you having conversation. That is also considered what I consider cosmic conversation. So anyway, it's just yeah, expanding hearts, minds, and consciousness through cosmic conversation.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I've loved it.
Thank you so much. It's
So
been a
nice.
pleasure to be with you.
And it's so nice to be reunited in this life
I know, I
again.
know. Yeah.
I
We'll
love
have to
it.
figure out what lifetimes we had.
Yes, that'll be our next one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. It's good to see you.
Good to
Bye,
see you
everybody.
too.